मुनव्वर मेरी आँखों को मेरे शम्सो दुहा कर दे.
So, belief in the resurrection. So,
we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able to revive the dead from their graves on the day of judgment. This is referred to al-barzakh ba'd al-maut.
if you look at the articles of faith, آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر has been mentioned, the day of judgment. And surely then this concept of resurrection is part of the concept of. So why has it been mentioned? The ulama mentioned that it is a specific detail taken from the general. The general is al-yawm al-akhir. And then this is ba'd al-maut, the resurrection is a specific thing from that general. That's been mentioned at the end of the articles of faith as well, and it is an article of faith. There is another world.
There is another world or domain between this world and the hereafter, which is called al-barzakh.
So this is the time span between the death of a person and the establishment of Qiyamah.
After death and before Qiyamah, all the humans and jinns have to live therein as per their status. In it, there is comfort for some and hardships for others.
So we believe in the punishment of the grave. That for some there is punishment, and for some there is the na'im, the ni'mas of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of the grave. That there are good things that a person receives within the grave, depending upon a person's belief and actions in this world.
Death refers to the separation of the soul from the body. It does not mean the destruction of the soul. Every person has a set lifespan on earth. It cannot be increased or decreased. When the time of his life comes to an end, then Sayyidina Israel alayhi salam comes to remove his soul. The punishment or the azab of the grave and reward in the grave are both haqq, a reality.
Despite the denial of this by groups like Hizb al-Tahrir. Groups like Hizb al-Tahrir, they mention that in their books regarding the punishment of the grave, that it's not a definitive thing and so forth, and they go into these discussions. This is mentioned in the books of aqeedah of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. The narrations regarding the punishment of the grave reach the level of tawatur, mass narration. Something which one must believe in regarding the punishment of the grave. Questions?
The questions of the grave will be asked to a person wherever he lies, and it is there that he will receive either reward or punishment.
Somebody may say somebody doesn't get buried, what will happen to him? Mawlana Ustadh Ibrar Shafi have discussed this inside the Bahari Shariat in the section of aqeedah, that if a person is swallowed by a lion or dies at sea, the adhab of the qabr will take place inside the belly of the lion or within the sea, wherever the body lies, and the questioning will take place wherever the body lies. The reason why it's called adhab al-qabr is because the general reality and norm is that person is put inside a qabr. It does not mean that if somebody is not buried, that they will not receive it. They will receive it wherever their body is. The earth does not devour.
The earth does not devour the bodies of the beloved prophets alayhimus salam. They are alive in their graves, and this is the belief of the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah.
Has come in the Sahih Hadith, I mentioned in the Musnad of Imam Bazzar, rahmatullah alayhi, al-anbiya ahya'un fi quburihim yusallun, that the anbiya alive in their graves praying. And another hadith, inna Allah harrama ala al-ardi an ta'akula ajsad al-anbiya alayhi salam, that Allah has made it forbidden upon the earth to eat the bodies of the anbiya alayhi salam, to such an extent that al-Imam Suyuti rahmatullah alayhi said this is a thing which he believes is qat'i. It's absolute, definitive evidences that it is about the Anbiya alayhi salam, the life in their graves, despite what the people of the crowd beliefs have tried to push.
If a person's body has been disintegrated, decayed, or even devoured by animals, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will gather all of this and raise the body again. On the day of al-Qiyamah, people will emerge from their graves without shoes or clothes and uncircumcised.
This is for the gathering in the Hashr. And the first person that will come out of his grave was Sayyidina Rasulullah. And this brings us to the end of a brief discussion of the 7 articles of faith. And hopefully this will encourage you to learn more. There are small texts like, relatively small texts like al-aqeedah al-tahawiyya, that these texts and so forth that we should try and read. There are some good books that have been written, a book called Towards Understanding Aqeedah by a Hafid Athar, Hafidahullah, very good book on these points, the 7 points of Aqeedah. We should learn regarding those who can read Urdu, read the section of Aqeedah that is mentioned at the beginning of Bahari Sharia, especially with the footnotes that are now being put by the brothers from Da'at Islami, very detailed, very good. And aqeedah is something which is fundamental that we all need to learn, the basics of the aqeedah, something definite, because that's what everything else is built upon. That's why it's called usul al-deen. It's the asl of deen, because it's the asl upon which the sharia is built. Like the building block, first building block, base of a house. If it is not sound, your a'mal are worthless. So first thing that we're called towards is tasheeh al-aqeedah, to make our aqeedah sahih, then a'mal. So this is the science that everyone needs to be concerned about. Aqeedah, also then your fiqh, tajweed is important as well, to be able to recite the Quran correctly. These three sciences, primary sciences, which we should all try and get the most basic level of knowledge regarding, in terms of what is sufficient for our beliefs, what is sufficient for our day-to-day ibadah, what is sufficient for the recital of the Quran. These three things we should be concerned about. Then whoever can go beyond that, has the himmah to go beyond that, may Allah give them tawfiq as well. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.